Greetings and thank you for joining the weekly meditation of Calgary Mindfulness, where every Sunday morning we meditate for 15 minutes on a different topic, often suggested by our practicing community. If you would like to join these meditations live, or if you would like to attend in-person meditations around the Calgary area during the summer months, please email calgarymindfulness@gmail.com. I hope you enjoy this practice and wishing you a wonderful week. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Sunday practice. Our theme in 2026 has been largely about self-care and how to manage our responses to a world that seems increasingly chaotic or difficult. We are continuing with this theme today, and we will be exploring new aspects of how mindfulness meditation can provide some relief and clarity and a management system for going forward. Let's begin by getting into our mindful body, a posture that is strong and straight. And just observing details about our physical sensations. Where do my feet make contact with the floor? Where do my sit bones make contact with the floor or mat? Mattress or mat if you're lying down. And with each breath, noticing the rise and fall of the torso and the expansion of the belly. Let the belly hang right out. Just relax the whole torso. Again, breathing in deeply, noticing the lift of the torso and exhaling. Sending our awareness further up the body, noticing the rise and fall of the shoulders as we breathe. Relaxing the shoulders and hands. Another breath in, noticing the rise and fall of the shoulders. And sending our awareness further up, relaxing the face. Noticing the gentle lift of a soft, easy smile that turns the cheeks upward, that lifts the whole face upward. A relaxed, easy face. And continuing to breathe with a mantra I've adopted from Thich Nhat Hanh that we've used several times during this year. Breathing in, I ease my body and mind. Breathing out, I am home, I am safe, I am arrived. Again, sending our awareness up through the feet, noticing where the feet make contact with the floor. Breathing in, I ease my body and my mind. Breathing out, I am safe. I am home. I am already arrived. Sending our awareness up through the body, towards the knees and the thighs, the sit bones and the belly, relaxing the belly, observing its gentle rise and fall with the breath. And stop and give it a little rub if you like. Hello, belly. Reminding ourselves that the belly is seat of millions of neurons that control our response to stressful situations. So we want to be very connected to the belly. It represents our inner child, our suppressed emotions and potential trauma. So we just want to let that emerge maturely. Because when we suppress all that, it just explodes immaturely at the wrong time. And sending our awareness up to the heart, reminding ourselves that the heart energy, the electricity of the brain and heart, they travel for dozens of meters, affecting people around us very subtly. And so what foot do we want to put forward? Anger, fear, despair, shame, or hope, love, trust, confidence? We are the decision makers. We are the power brokers and holders of our energy. What do we want to share with others? We can either choose or we can be wagged by the dog's tail. And that is the scary but wonderful part of our free will. What a challenge. And it is the ultimate freedom that we get to manage our response to all circumstances. Relaxing the face, the hands, and the belly. I'm going to pull up an image that I'll share in the podcast for this meditation. It's called the negative spiral process. Please continue to breathe in and out mindfully, observing your body and breath as I narrate. We begin with a neutral state. Perhaps there is a trigger event that leads to initial negative thoughts like criticism or a setback or a stressful situation. Then we focus on the negative thoughts. The downward spiral continues. We indulge in the negative emotional reaction. We have a behavior response based on that negative emotional reaction. So maybe we lash out or shut down. We reinforce that behavior by stewing or obsessing on it, or by having behavior that is negative, like self-medicating with TV, drugs, alcohol, unhelpful behavior. And then, of course, that continues to escalate and be reinforced. And if we don't interrupt that, we will end up in a state of overwhelm where we can't escape. So our work as meditators is between states 1 and 3. Neutral state, the trigger event. We are looking at our mindful response to the trigger event. We are wired to focus and amplify the negative in order to keep ourselves safe. But remember, that ancient wiring for safety in the jungle is not helpful in our day-to-day modern lives. And so our job, in order to interrupt and restore before a negative spiral begins to unwind, is to pay attention to our negative thoughts and correct them. And that is the journey towards emotional maturity, our ability to respond to stress with resilience, to respond to criticism with confidence and resilience. So if we are not able to respond successfully and constructively to negative events, we have not developed emotional maturity or resilience. Now, we live in a world where the loudest people in media absolutely display a complete absence of emotional maturity. And that's how people get attention. The loudest, squeakiest wheel is the one that gets the oil. In our age of attention capitalism. So in order to interrupt this cycle, we have to choose differently. And we are choosing significantly differently than what we see modeled in media. And so let's just sit with that for a moment. We have quite a challenge in front of us, but our free will is our ultimate superpower. We get to choose. We are in control. We have agency. I'm just breathing in and out. Let's notice any thoughts that come to mind of any negative situations, relationships, circumstances that we have faced where we feel frustrated. Maybe it's with friends, uh, family circumstances, professional, school, our performance on a test, you name it. Wherever you're at in your life, find those things. We all have them. They are personal, professional, and public. And so they will occur to us in all of those spheres. By now, perhaps several situations may have arisen. Let's observe our response to these situations. And usually it is, I'm not good enough. I haven't done enough. I'll never get there. So the usual trifecta of catastrophic thinking. And just observing how those thoughts and our responses make us feel. Usually it is bad, right? Breathing in and out as we identify, we inquire. What are those bad feelings? Fear of not making it, fear of the future, fear of disappointing others. Shame at not being perfect. Let's imagine a friend or a loved one is telling you about this story. What is your response to your friend or loved one? Is it to further that shame and fear path? Or is it to provide support? You're being too hard on yourself. You can always start again. You can learn something and try again. And just noticing how when we are called upon for support, we always push for resilience. But in our own minds, hearts, and bodies, we punish. So part of our path to emotional maturity is being our own inner support system, pushing for resilience and constructive development. Calling to mind this circumstance, situation, relationship whereby we are experiencing suffering. How can we change our thoughts? We are human and lovable and worthy, even when we make mistakes. Nobody has to be perfect to be loved. Life is full of ups and downs. How am I going to surf this one? I can do this. I might need a little practice and help, but I can do this. I can handle this. I can get through this. And just practicing reframing our train of negative self-criticism with genuine, truthful, accurate optimism. There is always the possibility for renewal and change. And looking through that, looking for the hope, looking for strength, looking for a path to optimism and clarity. Being compassionate with ourselves and others. I invite you to carry this meditation throughout the week as part of our engagement in the RAIN process, where we recognize, acknowledge, inquire, and nurture our thoughts and feelings during our meditation. I invite you to journal any insights you might have had during this practice and come back to them during the week. Better out than in. When we journal our thoughts and feelings, they don't seem to hijack as much terrifying mental space. And I really encourage you to try that over the week if you have time. Thank you so much for joining with me today for our weekly Sunday meditation. Wishing all of the fathers in our circle, in our community, and all of the fathers watching this a very happy Father's Day. May you continue to be blessed with the power to protect, to serve, to guide, to caretake as the ultimate manifestation of the divine masculine caretaking for the community. Thank you so much for joining with me today. Wishing you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.